Hey over there, Joe Lunchbox.
And Joy Nightingale.
And today we have landed right here in Friendship, New York. Now, behind us is an attraction I've wanted to go to even before it was here.
Yep.
What stands before us is Wolf's Museum of Gods and Monsters. This is a horror-themed attraction in a pre-Civil War church. This church was built in 1855. Now, when I say I wanted to go to this attraction before it was even here, Wolf's Museum used to actually be in St. Augustine, Florida, and sadly it didn't work out there, and they came up here to Friendship, New York. And right when we heard they were moving, I'm like, they're close to this, going to be awesome. And I'm glad this attraction is a survival story, because they got this church and then sadly they had a massive fire. Now when you have a collection full of oddities, cool stuff, and you have a massive fire, you lose your whole collection. And to believe that they were able to recollect cool stuff, rebuild the church, and reopen is amazing to me. And now we are finally here. We're finally able to bring you along. And that means the world to me. I'm so happy we get to see it for ourselves and share it with you. Hope you like this kind of thing. If you do, you should like this video. If you haven't done it already yet, we always appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. Do you have any oddities? What is your favorite thing you have in your personal collection? But it's time to do this. Step it up. Let's go for this ride. Oh, I'm so happy they're open. I'm so happy we get to go in. Already walking in. It looks like we're coming in. We enter in their gift shop. Hey, we got little cats. Employees and cats only. They were one of the cats in the cat only room. Joy's gonna tell us about this. We see some images here.
It says, Ghost in the Museum. We are asked quite often about supernatural occurrences. We have experience from living inside a pre-Civil War building where so many emotions have run through, be it in a form of sadness from the many funerals or joyfulness from weddings. But nighttime has brought on many feelings of dread, particularly when you find yourself alone in one of the galleries upstairs. I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know, but just so it says, yes, they do believe it is haunted. In fact, just last month, police were called due to sounds of women screaming when there was no one even here. Remember, folks, no horseplay. Annabelle's watching. Now you see, it looks like we entered a hunting lodge. Learning that deforestation leads to this small bear ultimate demise. Do you know why it looks like a hunting lodge?
Why?
Because when you think of a hunting lodge, you think of a man that likes playing with guns. Just recent in the press, in the past years, we actually have a lot of the personal items of Alexander Murdoch. Now, he was just found guilty because on June 7th, 2021, his wife, Maggie, and his 22-year-old son, Paul, were found dead, shot. Now, a lot of people were like, who did it? Why did they do it? It seems that he was swindling money from a lot of people, and he thought if he got charged for this financial ruin, people would find sympathy on him if his wife and son were dead. So he decided one crime wasn't enough. Let me just kill my wife and my kid. Then he also hired a hitman to shoot him so his other son could get insurance money. There was a lot of craziness. But, of course, he was found guilty of murders. And once he was found guilty of the murder, this museum acquired a bunch of his personal thing, purchased at a library auction in Pembroke, Georgia on March 23rd, 2023. This is Alex Murdoch's personally worn full-body hunting outfit that he is seen proudly wearing in this massive media circulated photograph. And there is the photograph of him holding a gun. The most sought after dark collectibles and undoubtedly missed by the censors of Liberty Auction was this box of unused blackout ammunition, the exact ammunition lot Alec pulled from to murder Maggie Murdoch and introduced at trial. These very shells were featured on various television outlets which covered the auction. Before us, we actually have photos of the auction. See, there are the bullets. There's the racks of clothing. When we walk through the woods, you ever feel something's watching you?
Sometimes, yes.
When it's not me, do you ever think it's Bigfoot?
I don't know who it is or what it is, but...
Well, if you did, we actually have a double-barrel rifle purportedly used to kill a Sasquatch in Seal, Alabama in 1989. And on top of that, we actually have one of the most famous Bigfoot photos from the Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot video from 1967. And there we actually have, these were signed by Bob Gimlin. Wouldn't be a museum about horror and oddities, especially the oddities part, without a jackalope. Time to make our way into the main building of the church. Oh wow, this is awesome. Just look at this. My first time entering a church, painted purple, full of skeletons and witches. In the gift shop, you could purchase a movie based on their other museum, Wilt's Museum of Mystery. And here we actually have a film used prop, the mermaid tail, from that movie. And they have a photo of someone modeling it in front of the Wonder Wheel in Coney Island. We have a photo of one of the proprietors here, Allie, her photo shoot in front of Marie Laveau's crypt. And they say they personally don't believe in supernatural, but cannot explain what was seen in the gown in this photo. And that's this image enhanced. Whose face is it? We have some skeleton keys that are actually discovered 3 feet below the surface while digging fence posts alongside this church. They believe that these would have been the original keys from 1855 for this church. Oh, we're in a church, we could help ourselves to the devil's candy. Don't mind if I do. It doesn't say atomic fireball, but it might be.
Does it smell like it? Does it taste like it? Got that cinnamon hops going on?
Cinnamony, but not atomic-y. I feel all these people are actually here for a wedding, because up here we actually have a bride, and the other side, the groom. Ari is talking how the goat image have long been associated with the devil, even though the connection between goats and Satan is indirect in that features commonly attributed to the devil derived from Greek pastoral deities of Pan. Goes on to talk about how that the sheep were on the right side and goats were on the left side because the sheep were well behaved and the goats were ornery and insubordinate, meaning that they were damned. Before us is an image of Baphomet with some upside down pentagrams talking about goats. Here we have Black Phillip. We're not allowed to touch him, but he's just hanging out, showing his masculinity. We actually have some personal items of the owner and curator Wolfgang von Mertz. And I like this one of him. It looks like the Heart Attack Gorilla if I've ever seen it. Or some university degrees. The collection is amazing. Joy, you like the collection so far from what we've seen?
It's crazy, yeah.
I think we found my favorite case. All little cryptids and what would be known as like sideshow gaffs. A 2-headed vampire bat. Does say where they're from, acquired from Amazon rainforest. A shrunken head. Ooh, conjoined twins fetus skeletal. I do love where this one was acquired from.
Where was it?
If we look closely, this one was acquired at a Coney Island carnival.
I can believe that.
Ooh.
Here's monkey paw.
Do you think if we talk to the owner, they'll let me make some wishes on that? You want to make some wishes on it?
No, it's cursed.
Yeah. And my favorite, you never go wrong with the Fiji mermaid. And this mermaid is awesome. It looks like mummified, dried out, but the blending with the tail is beautiful. This one, not really that special. It's just a common fairy, not a special fairy. Next week, we actually have the Irish legends and stories. And at the very bottom, a voodoo frog. See the mouth being held closed by the pins that you use in it. We have ashes of their pet opossum named Little Wolf. They actually said they found him on the side of the road, bottle fed him until he got big enough. Then he used to eat his favorite Arby's roast beef. We were talking how they had a fire and lost their whole collection. But if you see, the box remained and so did his ashes. This was found in the rubble and survived. Really is filled with all my favorite things, this museum. I'm in love. We have monkey skulls, the little kapalas, and decorative turtle shells.
So it was used in Netflix's Cursed.
There it is. Illustrated by Frank Miller. That would have been Netflix's Curse. So these were film-used props. How does the song go?
What?
The foot bone's connected to the leg bone. The leg bones turn into a leg flute.
Wait, how do they turn into a leg flute?
Do you really want to know?
No,
A Tibetan name for trumpet or horn made out of a human tibia or femur and used in rituals. Traditionally fashioned like bones. I guess they would take your family member, hollow it out, and catch a cool little end.
Oh.
Probably deceased, but I think if someone lost their leg in a tragic accident, no reason to let a good leg go to waste.
So they're gonna play it themselves then?
Yeah, you might as well. You see this smile? Across the way, we saw in the case a Fiji mermaid, and I was like, oh, I love Fiji mermaids. My favorite thing in this case. Behind me is a case full of all Fiji mermaids. These creatures were crafted in traditional fashion, being comprised of monkey skulls, fish skin, duck feet, and other organic material. The painstaking, slow process can take months in order to comprise a seamless creature of lifelike human qualities. So we have a mommy Fiji mermaid next to it. It looks like a little baby Fiji mermaid.
So those mermaids are common folklore of many cultures. You have the Greek, you have the Nereids, Irish, Scotland, and obviously Japanese, like basically all different culture. And they said to go back like 1400 years ago. But now, the modern Fiji became popular starting in the early 1600s.
So before P.T. Barnum.
Before P.T. Barnum, I had a misemono, which is the Japanese equivalent to an American sideshow.
Interesting. Up some Area 51 things. We've come in peace. Gray Halloween mask from 1950s. In case you don't know, the Greys are the big head aliens with those big old eyes. You're behind that counter. I feel like you should be bartending at a church. A lot of Last Rite kits. A lot of vintage Last Rite kits. We see where the holy water would be stored, the little candles. Some old talking boards. I like this one. The Mystery Planchette. Ooh, a little Day of the Dead themed. It is interesting how, in case you didn't know, they're not all called Ouija board. Ouija board is actually a brand. Yeah, talking about that, we actually have an Ozzy Osbourne Ouija board. It's a Ouija board. Get it? Weed instead of Ouija, and the planchette is a marijuana leaf. Museum has a bunch of screen-used props. We're looking at a poster of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with Robert De Niro, and we actually have one of the screen-used custom skin masks that De Niro would have worn in Mary Shelley's 1994 Frankenstein. We looked at the beautiful wallpaper. We looked at the renovations they'd done. While doing those renovations, they removed some wallpaper in this corner and actually found a note written on the wall dating back to 1910. It appears to say, "For what a waste church, H.L. Wilson." I found the Ouija board I have to find to get Joy. In case you never knew, Joy is one of the biggest Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans, and this is Conversations with Dead People board, Buffy the Vampire Edition. In the corner, it's nice. If you want, they actually have a Ouija board set up so you and a partner could actually use a Ouija board in a haunted church. Do you think that's a good idea? Oh, yes, it is a good idea. Very cool. One of the other things that sort of survived the fire, we actually have an ancient artifact, a sideshow banner. Their Florida museum had 35 hanging, and sadly 34 of them burnt up in the fire, and this is the only surviving one. Attention to detail. Look at these handles. Time to go into the next part of the museum. Photos of an albino deer taken not 45 miles away from here. It's mind-blowing. Two fascinating things, both that I feel are worth seeing in this museum in one New York Times cover. This would have been a section 2 of the New York Times, and Sunday, April 22nd, 1934, and it is the vintage photo of Nessie. Photo taken by Dr. Robert Kenneth Wilson. His photo of Nessie. But just think, at the same time, the circus comes to town. The fact that that's on the cover together, awesome.
It gets even better.
Why does it get better, Joy?
Because it survived the fire.
Uh-huh.
And then while in the cathedral, it was then used to basically birth one of the cats to their kittens.
Yeah, so one of their mother cats named Monster birthed 5 kittens on the paper, and it survived. You said I couldn't wish on the last monkey paw. Can I wish on this one? Vintage monkey paw talisman. Traditionally, one would hold this while making 3 wishes. This one survived the fire, so it must be very lucky.
You cut! So he started with my neck!
All the classic antique vampire killing kit. We have every good museum that has oddities should have a vampire killing kit,
Look, it's
a
even
Fiji mermaid, and shrunken heads, and they have all.
It's got garlic. Extra garlic.
We do have a braided garlic on top. In case a vampire wanted to destroy the kit before it got opened, now we can't even get it. And in it, we actually have a vampire bat. You see the skeleton with the wings? It looks like we get to head upstairs now. I want to know what's in the basement below the stairs, though.
It's great. The posters are like the
movie
overseas.
posters. Evil Dead. Ooh, Return of the Living Dead. I like it. I like it. Some Beetlejuice action. But let's take a look at that Nightmare on Elm Street. There she is. There's Nancy. There's some Freddy Krueger. But I don't remember this guy in that movie. Awesome photo of a bloody woman holding an axe on a bed. But what makes this cool is this is the bedroom where Lizzie Borden supposedly murdered her stepmother on August 4th, 1892. Actual photos used in the Lizzie Borden trial. Possible stains, front western side steps, and a photo of the jury that acquitted Lizzie Borden.
It's tarot card watercolor sets. They're actually really cool.
And these tarot cards are actually them. The Devil is Wolf. The Lover's card is Wolf and Allie. And the Witch is Allie. We're going to pan right from these tarot cards. Warning, there is a strobe light. And we have... Reagan, is that you?
The left, it's the rare 1973 Indian X-rated movie poster.
Linda Blair, an Exorcist for adults only. X. Time to get a little into the cinema. Oh wow. Oh wow. Don't bury me, I'm not dead. Are you a fan of the TV show American Horror Story? Joy and I definitely watched the sideshow based season, and behind us we have screen used props. This is pretty mind blowing that this is sitting here. The screen used props from American Horror Story. There it is on the TV. When you actually see them in the collection.
That's because she went first.
And the prop is right there. They're talking about how she died first. That's why her body's a little more worn than the other one. You never know what you're going to find. Sid Haig, who played Captain Spaulding in Rob Zombie's House of 1,000 Corpses. His original 1957 high school yearbook includes 8 photos of him and his acolytes, including his role as the vice president of the student body. Yep, collection is complete. Death Mask of John Dillinger. American Horror Story on the TV, over the fireplace. There are some seats. You could sit down and watch it. But say you might want some treats. They have free popcorn. Free popcorn from hell. Since we are in their sort of movie room, we have the wall of horographs, all signed photos from some of their favorite horror movies. We're in their adult-only room. Has a little more graphic stuff, but what actually was a weeping room in pre-Civil War eras. This room was to accommodate people if there was a funeral for the women and children to cry in. And now guarding it is the nun. A photo of their museum saying Wolf Reborn, and it has Fishboy, Rainn Wilson's character, and he actually signed the painting. There he is, signing the painting. And they have a bunch of the paintings. I like how the church is represented in some. Like here we have the church as Noah's Ark with all their animals they're taking care of, and talking about all the animals they're taking care of. We can see all the cats hanging out from the church. I like that we have some skull-faced cats, two-headed cats, cats with, like, I guess cantaloupes, cyclops cats. A loud clap angers the devil. Oh no, a child imagination of burning hell. This exhibit emphasizes what many of us growing up in small God-fearing homes in the Midwest imagine when we were scolded or warned by our parents of the punishment of our bad behaviors.
Look at me, just as all the others have. Now that I have you, your soul will be mine forever!
Yep, that's how we grew up feared. Yep. And also I'd be afraid of that thing. Wouldn't you? Very cool. We're going to bring up one of these candles, but what's interesting with the candle is the glassware. It's all vintage glassware that they found when they purchased this church. So there you have it. Wolf's Museum of Gods and Monsters. That place is cool. And I have a correction. I made an error. I said that they rebuilt the church. I was mistaken. We were talking to Allie before we left, and it was a church a few miles away that burnt down. Mm-hmm. Then they took what they had left and moved here, rebuilt the collection, and got a second church. My mistake. Didn't realize. But it was cool, and I'm happy we got to share it with you.
Yeah.
That place was amazing. If you find yourself in upstate New York, check it out. I know it's not technically upstate, it's from Western New York. We're from Long Island. Everything above Westchester is upstate New York. You could get here in a day. It's worth it. Get here. If you're passing by, come. And if you're not and you're into this kind of stuff, it's worth the trip. I thought this spot was amazing. The collections they have, from cool little oddities and trinkets, world antiquities, to film-used props. It was awesome. I can't recommend the spot enough. And the owner, really nice.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. All right. Think we call it, Joy?
I think so.
Think we call it. All right. Wolf's Museum of Gods and Monsters. Been there, done that. Remember, folks, safe travels
Goody.
and live life.
The veil becomes thinner, your future becomes more clear and fraught with doom. There are many evils pulling you toward them, myself included.